How to train when you're short on time. In this video, I will share 6 tips that could be really helpful if you don't have time but still want to get a workout in. By the end of this video, you will see that there is always a solution which is way better than skipping your workout altogether. Your workout should always have a structure, as I've mentioned before on the channel. Warm-up, joint preparation routine, skill block, strength block, and cool down stretching. Based on these, I will go through each and tell you what you can do for the shortest, more effective workout possible, including 6 time-saving tips. I generally don't recommend skipping the warm-up. The warm-up I prefer and teach is 5 minutes long, which should be manageable. The basic rule for warm-up is, if you must shorten it, do a more specific warm-up based on what you will be doing in your workout. For example, if you're focusing on upper body, move around mainly your trunk, shoulders, elbows and wrists. If it's a lower body day, then focus on your trunk, hips, knees and ankles. However, from the general gymnastics warm-up I prefer, you can pick out the most important exercises from the 16 and shorten your warm-up. You can find the full general gymnastics warm-up routine on the channel and the bonus version in the Gymnastics Method app, where I also count the reps for you. The same principle applies to the joint preparation routine as to the warm-up. If you can do the full routine, that's the best, but here, specificity can also be applied. The general warm-up already moves around your body, and with the joint preparation routine, you can specifically target areas that are most sensitive for you and need extra preparation. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know I recommend everyone to complete a full joint preparation program, which is a 6-week program in the Gymnastics Method app. This leads to significant awareness, freer movement and stability, which makes progressing in basics and advanced exercises easier. The prehab routine is a shortened version of this program that I recommend doing before every workout. It's a 15-minute routine. But you can also do a much shorter version based on what you will practice in your workout and, as I mentioned before, which joints are more problematic for you. Generally, I recommend doing a few scapula and core exercises, since bodyweight training mainly involves upper body exercises requiring scapular stability and core strength. If your wrists often hurt, do those exercises too, and if you're planning to do push-ups and inverted rows, add scapula push-ups and scapular adductions, plus a hollow body hold and a Superman, and you're good to go. You have flexibility here, so you can adjust the length and content of your routine to your preferences and needs. You can find the full 6-week joint preparation program and the mentioned routine in the Gymnastics Method Premium membership. For the skill block, as a beginner, you can practice the basics like L-sit, shoulder stand and elbow lever in a circuit style. From my and my students' experience, you don't necessarily need to rest between these, and you can do 2-3 sets of each, resting only between sets, then move on to the strength block. Or, as I mentioned in my previous videos, you can dedicate your workout to just skills and next time just strength. This block shouldn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes for beginners. At an advanced level, the interesting thing is, the harder the skills and progressions you practice, the shorter you hold them, but because of the high intensity, you'll need more rest. Between some strength skills, 3 to 5 minutes of rest may be necessary, so if you're doing just 3 holds, that's over 15 minutes with rest included. In this case, if you're short on time, it's best to split your workouts into skill and strength sessions on different days. Circuit training and supersets are good shortcuts, but they may require more time to adopt due to the increased demand on your nervous system. Initially, you might not be able to do a planche followed immediately by a front lever, even if you can do both separately, because you'll be drained both mentally and physically. In the strength block, there are several approaches you can take. The first principle in strength training is to progress from compound exercises to more specific isolation exercises. So if you're short on time, stick to the basics, and as you have more time, you can focus on isolations. The basic compound exercises bring the most results, and generally, once you max out on those, it makes sense to do more isolated movements for various muscle groups. Isolation exercises have their place, of course, and can be very useful, but it's important to follow the right sequence, which many get backwards. If you can do at least 10 proper pull-ups, then consider further biceps isolation and back exercises. But until then, you're better off sticking with pull-ups, especially if you're short on time. The next time-saving principle is to increase intensity and decrease volume. If you follow this, you'll be able to do fewer reps, your sets will be shorter, but the results will be still excellent. I personally always aim for this, as I don't believe in high reps, but prefer to increase intensity. This can be done with a harder progression or exercise, using rings, increasing time under tension, explosive execution, or adding weight. Another method is using supersets, which works great with bodyweight training as follows. Do a pushing exercise, followed by a pulling exercise without rest in between. So for example, push-ups followed by inverted rows, or dips followed by pull-ups. Simple agonist-antagonist principle, you're working on different muscle groups back to back, so you can easily do the superset. You can further enhance this by doing a full body circuit, following the previous pair with a core and a leg exercise. This way, you're working every major muscle group, allowing you to do 4 exercises without rest, working every muscle group and then resting between rounds. This is very efficient both in terms of intensity and time saving, and essentially summarizes everything mentioned in this block. Cool down and stretching are what most people tend to skip altogether in a hurry. They would rather focus on the previous blocks and neglect this one entirely. However, doing just a few comprehensive stretches would help a lot in calming the nervous system, restoring muscle condition, and starting the recovery processes. Here too, the principle is the same as with the joint prep exercises or the points mentioned earlier. On one hand, specificity, so what do you specifically need, and on the other hand, prioritizing comprehensive, full body stretches over isolated ones. Even just hanging for a bit at the end of your workout does a lot more than nothing, spending some time in a forward fold, or stretching your tightened chest muscles. The go-to exercises are passive hang, forward fold, hip flexor stretch, and chest/shoulder extension stretches. If you do all of these, or just the most important ones for you, you're good. One last tip if you really can't manage to work out. If nothing else, you can do micro workouts spread throughout the day whenever you have time. When you have 5 minutes, do the warm-up. In the next 5-10 minutes, do a few prehab exercises. Then in another moment, a few basic exercises, and so on. Keep the structure and principles mentioned earlier and move whenever you can. If you manage this, you will already be ahead of 99% of people. So the 6 key takeaways: specificity, compound exercises over isolations, increased intensity and decreased volume, supersets, circuits, and micro workouts. If you'd like to train according to these principles efficiently but very effectively and build a gymnast-like physique from the comfort of your home, click the link below, download the Gymnastics Method app in the App Store or Google Play Store, become a member, and get full access to all programs, tutorials, daily workouts, and much more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and now check out my earlier videos on the end screen.